one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Mrs. Dick.
Mr. Ricky Barber.
Here.
Mr. Craig Bruno.
Here.
Mr. Jim Douglas.
Here.
Mr. Mel Irwin.
Here.
Mr. Randy McDonald is excused. We have tonight myself as standing in for Diane as deputy town clerk. And we have Courtney Pedro, our water and superintendent. And we have Mike Farrell, our highway superintendent. Pam Barber, our confidential secretary to the board, and we have Bob Whitta, our codes officer, and we have, I cannot pronounce your name.
Chaka Khan.
Chuck, our dog control officer. And Matt, our Fabro, our attorney, here for us.
And
Thank you, Judy.
Mrs. Akey, our deputy town clerk. Thank you. Good job. Number 4, I need a motion and discussion to accept all the reports from all departments, water, sewer, Balfour, highway, town clerk, dog control, youth department, for zoning, supervisor's report, board, left, DCO, and banking report.
Wait, second.
Mr. Barber and Mr. Brewer.
I say I just drove by Loudon's Mills and it looks beautiful out there with hundreds of kids.
Yeah, she got 2 new coaches and
It's awesome. It looks really great. It looks great that all the kids are, every single inch of that grass is covered.
That's why she said I'll try to make it later, and I
It's
said,
totally understandable.
I said tonight you're excused because of the other thing that's going on. So, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Number 5, I need a motion to approve the minutes for the town board's regular meeting of August 22nd, 2022.
Also moved.
Mr. Irwin.
I have to abstain, you guys. I wasn't there.
And Mr. Barber. And Mr. Irwin. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, community input. Pam, did anybody sign up? No? Mr. Ryan, you have anything?
Nope.
Good. Number 7, motion and a discussion, approval of Luck Brothers Incorporated payment for the number 3 for Telegraph culvert project.
Make the motion.
Mr. Bruno,
I'll second.
Mr. Irwin. Any discussion on that? Mike, you want to, you need to add anything, give us any
No,
kind of...
that was the change order.
I don't think so, but 1 second, please.
Okay, so it's just payment from the first culvert number 1, which is complete now. It's in the smaller one, so that's what that payment. And Mark and Peter have been down there, fact that everything signed off on. That's what that is.
Great. When's the road open?
Yeah, over November.
Got relatives in Port Douglas, you know, you're right around here.
First culvert is all lined with fieldstone.
What's that?
The first culvert is all lined with fieldstone.
Yes, that stone, because it had to have natural bottom, that stone actually come from the bridge job in Saranac, the square, the Asnow Bridge. It was all approved by engineer Vetcher, so that's their new way of,
I'd rather see that than from
Yeah.
down.
so it's reusable too, it's nice stuff.
Yeah, definitely. It's really pretty.
Yeah.
Cheaper too, huh?
Yeah,
Cheaper.
Yeah.
Carl likes it better. We'll be down there fishing tomorrow.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. So, I guess we're all in favor of that. Mike, number 8, a motion and a discussion.
I think we have to
Aye. Do we, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bruce.
It's okay.
Thank you for keeping me on.
You're on it all the time, bud.
Thank you. All right, number 8 is a motion and a discussion. This is the approval of going to bid for the salt brine maker on September 29th at 10 a.m. Mike, you want to talk
Yeah,
about
I
that?
sat down with Ben a couple of weeks ago. Right now, we got the salt brine sprayer on order, which ships will pay for. We went through the budget, and because we're not buying any sand this year, which is usually the $14,000 to $16,000 range, the sand alone, not buying, will pay for the 2 5,000-gallon salt brine storage tanks. And then we went through the numbers on the contingency and stuff. We'll pay, it leaves a little balance to pay for the salt brine maker. And that'll get us up and running. I mean, Courtney's got to run 220 to the back bay, and we still got to run a 2-inch water line across the parking lot from up by the tower to feed it, because that's what it calls for. But so it, it won't affect taxes. Anything will come out of the 2022 budget. Good. That'll get us everything to go.
The price you're talking is for the sand only, not counting the man hours.
Yes, the snow fuel hauling up the Rotten Bluff Brook, so there's a lot of that. It's gonna save on the sweeping in the spring. There's gonna be, we're not gonna see a huge, savings right off, because we still gotta buy equipment. You'll notice next week when I did my budget, my salt mining sand is gonna be the same, but it's gonna be, instead of buying the sand, salt, which will be reduced down, is going to be going towards equipment to get us to that full 7-year mark or target mark. But as we're still thinking $64,000 savings within 3 years. So once we get going, so
Wow, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. And the salt and sand, I mean, you naturally have cut back with them.
yeah, I got back this year, but this year's a wild card because we're just getting into it. So and I ended up ordering 300 ton of they call it fire rock, which is salt that a little more treatment, and it's an additive. It'll work in colder temperatures, so you can use it. And there's still like 2,600 yards of salt sand, so if we're getting a storm where we're coming down an inch or 2 an hour, we'll use that, because that's a lot cheaper to do that. And then when it starts to stop or slow down, then we'll go right back to the way we were.
Good job, Mike. We have crunched the numbers.
Any other questions? Guys, any other questions? No, you good?
Yeah.
Okay, all in favor?
I don't think anybody
I
made
gave
the
a motion
motion.
a second.
I'll make the motion now.
Okay.
I'll second.
All right. Mr. Bruno and Mr. Parker. Yes, all in favor?
Aye.
All right. Number 9 is a motion and a discussion for Soprani, I guess it is, Energy Group Public Environmental Benefit Proposal. I'm not sure. Pam, can you give us, Andy or Bob, can you give us the input on the?
Yeah, so this is for the solar farm on Route 22 on the Pellerins property. So it's a, Craig, right there, 1.7 megawatt.
Yes, yep.
So they've used the calculations, thanks, Mike. They've used the calculations from the previously approved solar farm on the Moffett property, and they came up to this $2,825.20 per megawatt. So our solar farm law says that 1% of the assessed value of the project will be paid with this public environmental benefit. And you guys are gonna earmark where you want to spend it, but so they're asking us to consider this $4,802.84 to be used. That's what they feel should be the public environmental benefit.
Is that the
Based
easement
on-
property we tried to get the easement for the pump station?
No, no, this is the one that's got the, so it's a Pellerin, it's almost directly across, Greg, from Arnold Road. It's got the tower, it's got the old, I don't know whose farm that was, Mel? maybe you can chime in, I don't know. It's got the tower on it, but it's a 100-acre parcel, and they're only proposing a 1.7 megawatt solar farm. But this is what the numbers that they've come up with based on the previous approval for the Moffett solar farm. It's $2,825.20.
How do we know that's accurate?
2,000 or 4,000?
Well, because the assessed value on that, on the 5 megawatt for Moffitt's was,
It's basically based on the.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Well, my understanding is basically on the megawatts they think they're gonna be able to
Right.
produce basically by April, I think. So they're saying the other one was 5 megawatts an acre, so they pay 2,000.
So if more megawatts are produced, do we get bigger?
No, because
It's a
that's-
one-time rate.
The
You
one
know, it's
thing.
basically like a, cut off the top of their itself.
Okay.
So they're estimating what their megawatts are gonna be at this farm at the same rate. That's where they come up with this number. The other one paid us at the same rate, it was 14 grand. This one's 1.7
Okay.
megawatt versus the other one was 5. Same rate, so it basically means just under 5 grand.
Okay, thank
It's
you.
in essence free money.
yeah, thank you, yeah, that's right.
Bob, now you said that's right across from the Arnold Road?
Just about, yeah, yeah.
Was
You
that
might-
the, is
you might have
that
seen,
where
I
the
just
brick
put
house is? Is there a brick
Yes,
house?
that's right.
That's-
Rent-
That
rent-
that was
That's
Mr.
right.
Mitchell, that
Excuse
was
me?
Mary Mitchell. She
Okay.
passed away, yeah.
And then it was left to the Pellerins. So it's a 100-acre parcel,
That's who the Pellerin is, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So they're basically saying with this letter, if this works for the town, we'll send you the check.
Ready?
Yep.
Man, what do we do with that? Just put in general fund to decide what to do with it?
No, it's the attorney fee. Food budget for the attorney.
Maybe buy some turkeys? Still want to get
It's
some
supposed to be,
turkeys out there.
it's the environmental stuff, so it's supposed to be used for something to benefit the town at large or an environmental project in the town. Like sometimes you usually put up like a playground or a park, so you can kind of talk around to make it anything you want that could benefit the town at large. Just have a reason for it, basically.
We had talked at one point about charging stations.
Yeah, it does, yeah. And what, the last previous group from Nexamp, they said, we're not in the business of putting in
Right, we'll give you money. we're not doing
PV, and we'll
work.
just give you money, we're not in the business of putting in solar, PV, so,
And I'm not sure that's the best use.
Right.
We can debate that down.
right, yeah.
So if the town, if you guys want to accept this as a board, you need to make a motion to accept their proposal, and then Bob or Kim get in touch and say, we accepted it, please send us your check.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'll make a motion to accept those ones.
I'll second the motion to accept that money.
Okay, Mr. Irwin and Mr. Bruno.
Well, we don't receive that until they actually get their permit.
Yeah, building correct, yep. Yep.
Because we haven't received the other one yet either.
Right.
They're this close. I should have something within a week or two.
Good.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Okay, number 10 is a resolution and a discussion to call for a public hearing to pass a local law to exceed the tax cap for the 2023 budget, if needed, on September 26, 2022 at 5:45. This is just the formality that we've never done in acting it, but this way here we have to.
Right, you have to enact this law if you want to be able to exceed the tax levy, doesn't mean that you will or you're going to, but you can't unless you basically open the door with this resolution.
Yeah, every year.
I'll make it.
Second it?
Okay,
A resolution to adopt local law number 1 of 2022 to exceed the tax levy. Whereas the town board of the town of Peru is anticipating that the budget for the fiscal year of 2023 will require a real property tax levy in excess of the tax levy limit as defined by General Municipal Law Section 3-C. And whereas the local law is required pursuant to subdivision 5 of General Municipal Law Section 3-C to authorize the town board to override the tax levy limit by the adoption of a local law approved by a vote of 60% of the town board. So be it therefore resolved that local law number 1 for the year 2022, entitled a local law to override the tax levy limit established in General Municipal Law Section 3-C, is duly introduced and being further resolved that a public hearing on said proposed local law number 1 will be held at the Town Hall on Tuesday, September 26th at 5:45 p.m., where the public will be allowed an opportunity to voice comments for or against said law. Resolved that this resolution shall take effect immediately.
Roll call, Mr. Barber?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. McDonald? I mean, Mr. Douglas, sorry.
Yes.
Mr. Earl.
Yes.
I think we approve this every year, and I don't think we ever went above it, have we? Or 1 year?
No, we didn't. We never,
Yeah.
never think we've ever done it.
No,
Never
we
done
have.
that like this.
Yes, we have.
Oh, we
Oh,
always
yeah.
approve this law, we just never did all the tax time.
Yeah, we've never gone over, but we,
Always approve it.
the 10th or, no, actually, we started
It's
to,
been-
and we never,
Yeah, I don't think
It was the
I
10th.
remember doing that.
No.
2010 and 2013.
Yeah. You should, it's a good practice to do every year. It's one of
Thought
those
we
things, it's
did.
there if you need it, but.
2010 and 513? That's when we did it?
2013.
2013.
Oh, 2013. I wasn't here.
You were born by then.
I wasn't even born
I
then.
wasn't- I
No.
wasn't here.
Okay.
2013, not 1913.
Oh, I wasn't.
Take it a second.
That's close. Don't you laugh, John. All right, number 11 is a resolution and a discussion accepting the phone system proposal from Layer 8 and Gavin's. I wasn't here, but Pam, Diane, and Rick were here. And Rick, would you like to?
The proposal they came out and told us was that everything they told us falls in line with our tech people, right?
Yeah.
So they've been here for any kind of technical glitches we've had, and it's the same people. So everything went over very well. They had all the answers. The phone system's only going to cost, what was it, Pam? $163.95.
Yeah.
This is all updated phones.
That's a month.
Every phone.
It's cheaper than mine.
And then,
Same type of answering.
I mean, I
and
guess.
then it's a one-time issue. Pam, tell me if I'm wrong, for $662.
655
The
and
655 is the one-time,
$655.
and then the monthly charge is 662
Okay.
for the actual phone
Oh,
lines.
there we go.
The 163.95 is for layer 8 to provide,
Managing service monthly.
Correct.
yeah.
I
Layer
was quite
layer 8 has
pleased
got
with
the
that
phone system, the equipment, but Gabbitts has the phone lines and stuff.
Yep.
So
Bob,
Jim,
you-
the only thing I'd like to say is the experience that I've had with Layer 8 has been phenomenal. They answer the phone, they take care of anything. You're doing business with them, you're making a wise decision. They really are
I
top
agree.
notch, man, I'm telling you. I was impressed.
We're like the 4 wise men over here.
Yeah.
So what's the net increase bill? per
The net
month?
increase overall is, we pay about $800.
$800 and something.
We're probably going to be paying about $45 more a month for everything, but we're talking about the PBX system that has been here since Ken John.
Yeah, you can't replace those.
So I don't
phones.
know when
He
Ken John
can't-
was
he told us
actually,
He can't fix them anymore.
Yeah.
yeah, there's no phones available anymore and they can't be fixed. So we're basically at, our phone system is way over end of life.
So we're at $45 a month after we pay that one-shot fee.
Voicemail meeting out feature is so nice.
No, it's gonna be $45 more a month than what we pay now.
Oh,
Yeah,
It's
after we pay a
Such
one-time
a
charge.
great reason.
Of 665, yes.
Voicemail,
Yeah.
like having four, something like that, it's so nice.
Oh, my
And
God.
actually, I realized that my son actually took his work phone, which is what they said we could do if the pandemic came back or whatever.
I'll get it now.
You actually take your phone from your desk and you could bring it home and use it that way, and it'll look like you're calling from your phone, or from your office, so it isn't running through your cell phone number in case you don't want people to have that or whatever, but it's far beyond what we have
I
now.
was quite pleased with that
Well,
price.
the other thing was, too, they asked while we were sitting here, conference calls. And there's going to be a wireless conference phone that can be in here, or we can just take it in there. Everything's wireless. So we can use it in there if we need to get a hold of somebody, or we can use it out here if we're talking to a contractor on a bid or something, and we're all here. Don't have to plug anything in, just wireless.
That is going to raise the $163.95 slightly by a few dollars
I think he
a
said
month
two something.
to have that
$2 something.
conference phone.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
Like
good
Matt
job,
said,
guys.
that's a no-brainer, I mean, that's,
Yeah. I mean, because how many times have we all tried to use, a couple of people have been in my office or whatever, trying to use the speaker phone, and it's just, it doesn't work at all.
and like you said, this has never been updated since Ken John.
And help me out, what was the thing with the app that you could put on your cell phone?
So if you,
It could-
Fred, I posed a question. I said, if I leave the office and I want to transfer my calls to the cell phone, there's an app that can do it. And they said it's so simple, it's, even I can figure it out.
So everything won't ring here, it'll ring on, so
Yeah, and then just transfer the line over.
You can probably set it so it rings in both places at the same time.
Yeah.
You know, so you're gonna think about it, that's easy, yeah. We
Right,
have some
and-
similar to this plan is the voicemail to email, so you get an email with an attachment, if you're out on the road, somebody calls your phone here,
Yep.
you get an email with an attachment of the voicemail, you have that at your desk, you can listen to it and call back on that, if you're driving or down there. So some of the features are, once you use them, they're really gonna be great.
And like Craig from Layer 8, one of the other guys, so there was like 2-3 phone calls on his phone, and you could see all the people that have their phones, and he looked at it, and he's watching whether the other guy is picking it up. He saw that the other guy picked it up, so he didn't have to get up out of the meeting and go answer the phone. So you can see who potentially could be answering your phone, or you could answer it yourself.
He also said, if I can say something.
Oh, sure.
He also said that if you wanted to transfer a call that came in here to court, we don't have to give them a separate line, we just transfer from here.
All of our buildings will be tied
We'll
together.
be tied together, so
Wow.
it's.
Water, sewer, garage, court, and here,
Yeah.
for highway avenue. But not, right now, not the water plant or the sewer plant. When the other project gets done, all of that can be moved down there.
Our offices will be so much more efficient, thank you.
Let's save all that traffic.
Yeah.
All right, we still got one.
No more yelling out
All right,
the
I need a
window.
motion, you guys all set?
I make the motion.
Mr. Bruno?
I'll second.
A resolution authorizing the purchase of new phone equipment and telephone services for the town of Peru, whereas the town of Peru Town Board has found a need to replace the antiquated PBX phone system and equipment with new hosted system that will tie all departments together and provide new phones with cloud-based exchange, CBX. Whereas the town board has determined that the unavailability of replacement phone components has set forth the need to replace the phone system to better serve the town, its departments, and residents. Whereas Layer 8, our current managed services provider, will provide the phones and MSP upgrade at approximately $163.95 additional charge per month. And our phone services will be handled by data at a one-time fee of $655 and a monthly charge of $662. Resolved, the town of Peru approves the purchase of the phone system and services, and the town supervisor to sign a voucher to allow the order and purchase of said equipment, installation, and training thereof. And be it resolved that this resolution shall take effect immediately.
And when can they,
Roll
when
call,
will
please.
They said within 2 months they thought,
Yeah.
1 to 2 months.
Mr. Garber?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Douglas?
Yes,
Mr. Herman?
Yes.
motion carried. All right.
All right.
Moving right along here. All right. Number 12, resolution and discussion of reappointing James Salvo to the Board of Assessment Review.
I'll make the motions. Or
Mr.
second.
Barber, Mr. Bruno.
A resolution to reappoint James Fallow to the Board of Assessment Review, whereas the assessor for the town of Peru, Jeremiah Cross, has recommended that James Fallow be reappointed to the Board of Assessment Review as his current term will expire on September 30, 2022. Whereas the Peru Town Board resolves that James Fallow is hereby reappointed to the Board of Assessment Review for a term beginning October 1, 2022 and expiring September 30, 2027. And therefore be it resolved that this resolution shall take effect immediately.
Mr. Barber?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Douglas?
Yes.
Mr. Irwin?
Yes.
Motion carried. Okay, number 13, a resolution and discussion approval to order the new tractor with proceeds from the two tractor sales of the 2023 budget. Mike, you want to say anything?
Yeah, just since the last meeting, we picked the TN75 up, parked it, we told us not to use it. The TS90 was mowing, it's locked in gear, that is back up there. That one was split in half last year, this one, it may be the transmission. I don't know yet, they haven't got that far into it. So I priced out a Kubota mowing tractor, it's an M6 111, with a land pride mower, which will go over the guardrails, and it'll also trim the brush lines, because the TS90 had the boom axe on it that ripped everything. When it's put the tractor, it had to come off, the hydraulics had to come off. Now we're going to pay them to put back on for a tractor we're going to get rid of. So it's probably going to be spring, more than likely, if you okay it. I do have it in the 2023 budget. We're looking good on the budget with the numbers, and I actually called the chips guy today if I can get it here. I don't know if I can get it here for this year, if you so approve. That is 100% rolled out on the chips. And why I was thinking doing it that way, if you approve, is, as I stated before, we put the track that broke on a paver. We put a used one on it. We are currently using it. This was just cut my paving down. I'm very nervous. We're going to pave next, well, we're supposed to actually start paving tomorrow in the village. I think we're all right and straight, but when we get any curves, I think it's going to put a lot of tension on those tracks. So I was thinking maybe if we use some of that money for this, then it won't affect tax, it won't do anything. It's 100% refundable through the chips. And the tracks for the paver are 16 to 18 weeks. So we won't have it. The new thing, it just would be a little less paving. So that's, you know, it's up to you what you want to do. But I'm going to park the tractors. It's just, they're nuts. We got a ton of money in it. It's just.
Yep.
Any idea what the total to boot would be after you get done with it?
Yep, I can give you a rough idea. The TN75 is, it all depends on the market, what Oxys International and how hot that stuff is going, is worth between 30 and 35,000. The TS90, which is the older one, that had the boom axe on it, is only worth between 25 and 27,000. It can go higher, it can go a little lower, but it would roughly pay for the half the tractor and the mowers I threw on here. That is covered by chips, as long as it comes with the tractor. So, but it's whatever you guys want to do.
I've talked, you and I've talked before, I'm not crazy about mowing brush with those older, there's a lot of times you're mowing grass and you get that maybe small brush, but
Yeah.
trimming those trees, I think.
Yeah, and this land pride, that's what it's for. It's not for ripping big branches. It's not. That's not what it's made for. It's not with the boom axe. It'll trim it. It'll look better.
But you've got guardrails in a number of places before they
Yeah.
get in your
Right now we go around with 3 guys and we whack it, which works fine. It's just labor, labor intensive. It is what it is. But we don't have to have the mower. It's only a 1-pass mower. I still got the other mower will work with it, and it is replacing a mower that we traded. I didn't even know we had it. It was a tailgate spreader for shoulders that was sitting in all Sable's garage in Harkness. So we traded that for their mower, and we've been running it ever since. It's got a 1/2-inch thick plate on it. It's a woods mower, but it's tired. It's old, so, but it's, like I said, it's whatever you guys want to do.
I see that road on the way down to Port Kent where that brush is just shredded and
Yeah,
it looks
it's,
like
and that county's going around right now.
it should, from pruning trees, you're just gonna make it worse than the heck of a hurry.
The state can get away with it because when you scream for the state, that's all out of water towns. They don't hear it, so.
Yeah,
If you do it in your own town, you're gonna hear it.
but I definitely agree with Mel and that, I'd rather see a chainsaw on the bigger joints than try to stick a machine that doesn't belong.
Go right down with an excavator, get the roots and all.
Yeah, we use chainsaw in the bucket truck, we borrow from Chesterfield, and
Yeah.
we're on Dasmar Road, we've been there quite a while, it takes a long time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but you're
But
done once, done,
it looks good.
Yeah.
I came across you guys the other day on Lappin's Mills.
Yes,
They did a nice job.
yeah, Travis got the county bid, and he's been doing the big trees for us.
Yeah.
Okay. Do we have a motion? Or can I make the motion?
Yeah.
I will make the motion.
Mr. Bruno made the motion. Second it? Who's in the second?
Which way do you wanna go? You want your truck, and see if I get it in this year's shift or next year?
Get it in, as soon as you can.
Yep.
I'm fine with that. I wanna use a paver that's not working properly, and paver road is gonna look like crap.
I think it'll stay together. I think
Yeah, well,
we
I've
got
heard
that
that, I
sharp
think.
corner on Winding Brook, and that's gonna be a test right there.
Yeah, well, let's not take the chance, if it does. I don't wanna do a bad job on a paving job, because more people will notice that.
Anybody else second?
A resolution to purchase a Kubota four-wheel drive farm tractor and a Land Pride 60-inch parallel arm mower for the highway department from Dragoons Farm Center. Whereas the town of Peru Town Board has found a need for a new Kubota four-wheel drive farm tractor with electro-hydraulic shuttle transmission and cab and a 60-inch mower with parallel arm mower. Whereas the town board and the highway department have determined that the new Kubota four-wheel drive farm tractor and Land Pride 60-inch mower with parallel arm mower from Dragoons Farm Equipment would enable the town to provide a continued level of quality service to the town's residents at a reasonable price. Whereas the highway department has decided to sell two tractors, the New Holland TS90 and the New Holland TN75, since the repair costs are totally more than the cost of the tractors. At the time of purchase, it will help defray the cost of the new tractor. Whereas the pricing is from New York State source, well, contractor provides a $25,195.50 discount on the Kubota tractor and a $5,560.60 discount on the mower. The total pricing for both pieces of equipment will be $116,700.73. Now therefore be resolved that the town supervisor has authorized to sign all paperwork to execute the purchase as soon as possible.
Mr. Garber?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Douglas?
Yes.
Mr. Irwin?
Yes. Mike, what was the approximate horsepower on the Kubota?
What's that?
Approximate horsepower on the Kubota?
It's right around 106, somewhere in there. And just for Mr. Ryan, this is, I brought it up before, we're gonna go from the two tractors down to just one. Just right now, it's all we got a body for, so it's in one, with that double wing mower, the other mower, we can more than keep up.
Yeah, it's a good price too, with the discounts and stuff, it's a good time to
Yeah, that
take advantage of that.
national bid is a lot better than state.
And it's also a good time to sell the used ones, because the prices are up on them.
You'll never see. Try.
114 horsepower, Mike.
114?
Yeah.
That's cool. Next person that picks up.
Oh, wait, net horsepower 106.
Yeah.
You have one too, Matt.
You shot it.
I know what you're saying.
Hey Mel, if you take a picture of it with your phone, then you can blow it up.
Somebody's all over it back
Boy, I miss you
We
guys.
can get the Hubble
man.
telescope.
I've done that on blueprints before.
I only missed one meeting, it seems like I haven't been here for a year.
Better wait till after the roll call there now before you start.
4 cents or no?
Tower take off, 548, copy.
You keep going.
Dragster.
I'll take it
Now you got two of them.
All right, there. Give you guys a real roll.
Yes,
Yes.
Motion's carried.
You guys get looking at the horsepower there now.
I don't know that horsepower, these old farmers, man. It's
There you
important.
go. All right, number
That's what
15
they
is
Drive mower.
number 15, motion and discussion, schedule of the sewer workshop for September 26th at 4:30. Is that good?
What about 14?
Works for me.
Did we miss 14?
Oh,
Yeah, we did.
Did that.
Miss 14.
14. Motion to.
Oh, I'm sorry, I checked that off. I've got Sorry, Craig.
That's
All
all
right,
right.
that was number 14, sale of town-owned surplus property. Rick?
Look, I put that on there, we've been talking about it, we talked about it last winter, beginning of the fiscal year. The tennis court, the lagoons out off Grand Hollow Road, and the piece of property that's off School Street, and, Bob just ran that off so you can see where it is. I circled it, so, we talked about it, we were all in agreement about it, and, no, just,
What do you say? How much,
6,500 square feet, approximately.
Everything's approximate.
The piece of property that's over off Grand Hollow Road's 42 acres. Now, that piece is between Adirondack Farm on one side and Rumlard Farm on the other.
Yeah. Pretty good hunting in there too.
Courtney said something, I talked to him, we might have
They
to,
have to be cleared by DEC.
yeah,
Do we have equipment down there or anything?
There's a control building, piping in the ground. 3 monitoring wells on the water, on the property.
So what do you want to do, sell it? Is that what you're getting at?
yeah.
What are your thoughts on it, Courtney? Never gonna use it again.
I don't believe so. At this time, I can't think of anything, but we definitely need to research it with DEC to make sure that we can see what it was used for.
How come we own this property?
That's one.
That's mine.
You bought it.
On Woodland?
That's cool, yeah.
Yeah, I think what happened is when they came to subdivide that, it was too small for a lot. And the only reason I knew, and I can't tell you if it's a lady that's there now, I was telling Ricky before the meeting, a lady talked to me before, she was cleaning yard, throw everything over there, that was town property. And she wanted it, but she only wanted to pay $1, but town's not gonna pay $1, but it's too small for a building lot.
Yeah, okay.
Where the paperwork is, that it's town property, I wouldn't have any idea, I think we'd have to see.
Ask Jeremiah.
Is it too small still?
Yeah.
Even if there's a variance?
It's way too small. Okay.
It basically really all what it's used for is
Neighbors.
smoking school over there, because it's off school property.
We'll never do anything with it.
No,
And why are we keeping these things that, and Matt said before, they could become liabilities.
Yeah,
We
I agree.
got these things, we don't need them. The tennis court. Randy looked it up on Zillow, what that piece of property over there is worth. Was it $56,000 or $57,000?
Sounds about right.
It was worth a lot more.
40 something or 50 something, I'm not sure.
It was 50
I
something.
thought it was 57.
Yeah, it was worth a lot more than I thought it was.
I know there's two farms that will gobble up that property on Brain Hollow Road.
Exactly.
They'll fight over it.
Yeah, well, they each own it. One
I know.
owns here, one owns the other two.
But they're still growing too.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what we
Now,
gotta do.
what's the process? We have to go out to bid on those?
I've never dealt with that.
Thank you.
Matt, as soon, I talked to Courtney about it. As soon as we get an answer on that, we could go in there and cut the fence down and rip up the asphalt that's at the tennis courts and sell it as
Building lot.
cleaned up. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
She's gonna text me.
Can Randy sell that even though the town owns it? Good.
That's scary.
I don't want my taxes to go up for him again.
Didn't you find a lot of stuff buried there or something? I thought when they had pickleball discussions, I thought there was stuff buried there.
I inquired about the pickleball. We had pickleball over there 1 year.
Oh, I know, but when they were talking about improving it, there was some
We
talk
took
that
a
would
test
be.
hole.
yeah,
It
it
was-
was full of big rocks.
Oh,
There's
Looked
a lot of
like
rocks,
fill
there
and-
was some fill,
yeah.
Right.
some burned out material.
You got a sip hole over there, so.
Yeah, I came back from Florida, played pickleball down there, looked at that court, and I realized how much work you gotta go into it before you can get it up to speed.
Yeah.
A lot of work.
Yeah, because originally they wanted to overlay that, you can't, the underneath is no good, though. You can
Use a
overlay all
racket
you want,
when you play pickleball?
you're throwing your money away.
Yeah.
Barehanded?
Never seen it in a pair of short skirts.
Good, thank you, Rick. What you gotta do, Matt?
What do I have to do?
Do what you gotta
Oh,
do.
yeah, figure that out first.
Do what you do. Don't be thinking about Mel playing pickleball either.
I know there's a picture you go up on the Hayward Mason where you're at, right, in your uniform?
I could do that.
That would be great.
Yeah.
You want to pay for that?
Sure.
Right, go ahead, say it now. All right. Okay, guys, now we're on to number 15, schedule a sewer workshop for September 26th at 4:30. Are we all good with that?
Yes.
Okay.
September 26th.
So, just gonna put it on pause for a minute here.
Courtney, you know that
All right.
day we got
Hold on.
5:45 a public hearing on tax map?
What's that?
That's what I do.
So I'll take the notes. Motion to schedule sewer workshop for 9/26 at 4:30, so I'll make a motion.
I'll make it.
Mr. Bruno.
Second.
Seconded by, Mr. Barr made it, Mr. Bruno seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
We do have.
What was that?
There is a, yeah, Ricky brought up a good point, your
The
local law,
26th
public hearings at 5:45.
at 5:45.
Yeah. So how are we gonna do
We have
that?
the option to start at 4:15 if AES feels necessary.
What'd you say, Courtney? What are we
But
looking
we
at?
have the option of starting at 4:15 if AES feels it's necessary.
How long's the workshop gonna be? Is it gonna give us a half an hour, gonna be enough for them?
No, he says he wants to make sure it's
No,
not
we
out of
don't.
time.
What's that?
If the board here is here, and it's scheduled for 4:30, you can't start at 4.
So they can't accept the option now, but,
We got, just set it for 4:15.
okay.
Option times for meetings are always.
It's up to you guys. They're time shorter or?
There are other meetings at 5:45?
Public hearing.
That's a public hearing.
Yeah, we got public.
Yeah, okay, then nobody's gonna come.
Are they going, no, but.
I mean, granted, we could always go, who do you need for the public hearing? Just Diane, Brandy?
We may get rid of that motion.
Yeah.
So.
Not even the.
I think
So
we'll
we
be
could always
fine.
move into the back.
We'll be fine at 4:30.
Okay.
If you tell you guys there an hour, 15 minutes, they'll give you an hour, 15 minutes.
Why is nobody asking any dumb questions?
Sorry. We're good.
She didn't say Bruno.
It's weird, that two of us look right at him.
Not dumb.
No pressure, just don't do it.
Keep on their feet, them guys. You're right. All right, I got it. Sewer, 4:30.
All right,
Thank you, Jim.
all in favor?
Aye.
All right. Okay, number 16, a motion and a discussion, approval of the 2023 budget schedule and call a special meeting on 9/19/2022 to present the 2023 tentative budget.
Motion.
Mr. Bruno.
Second.
Okay, any other questions?
Keep this
Is
one.
it?
Mr. You get that, Mr. Bruno? All in favor?
Aye.
What time are we scheduling that meeting for?
6 on the 19th,
6
6
o'clock.
o'clock.
6 o'clock.
That's,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's 6 o'clock.
yeah, we got that.
You
You
could
got
document.
this here, right?
Can't find your paperwork either,
Okay.
Mel Junior?
John, you'll get one of those, so you can put it on,
Okay, thank you.
you're welcome.
All that hard work Pam does.
Thank you, Pam.
Thank you,
The
Pam.
meeting is up, yeah, right after that. It's only going to take a second.
All in favor then, are we all good with that?
Yes.
Picture.
Your document is scheduled.
Picture I want to see.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, okay,
Mr. Bruno, are you okay with that?
perfect.
All right. Number 17, discussion, Telegraph Road Culvert Project update.
Yeah, they started digging the big culvert, they hit ledge. We met down here last Friday morning, where the inlet wing walls are, that's pretty solid. We're waiting an answer back from the structural engineers, if we can just drill and pin it. The rest of the ledge, fortunately, they were able to rip it out. So I think it should be good, but I don't want to get too excited. They were driving in and out, there's still gonna be something that we haven't seen yet. There was a lot of ledge in it, but it breaks right out, they're ripping it out. So hopefully there's no hammering or anything like that.
It's like a slate ledge, man, just layers.
Yeah, it'll come out and a huge thing like that, then he drops it and you just it'll break it.
They were jackhammering this morning, they were jackhammering.
Yeah,
the
they're hammering
sides.
those, so I can't see, we're all in agreement not to hammer that solid ledge just to get it down. When they can just do a step footing and do that, it would be a lot cheaper. So that's power's higher than me. So
What exactly, Mike, is the change order down there?
that was on the first one, because the first one was gonna be, that was all precast footing. When we did the test hole, I dug a test hole for beater this winter, we hit ledge, so they were assuming there was ledge everywhere, which would have been drilled pin, or blast or whatever, and I didn't want to get in that. It's diamond material, but what that change order is they didn't hit ledge, so they had to do everything precast and made a bigger footing and stuff like that. So it's, probably should have just left alone and not said anything, but we definitely hit ledge, but it just wasn't there. So.
Good.
Is it, Mike?
Yeah.
Good on that? Okay.
Nice, good update, Mike. Thank you.
18, discussion, the sewer Elm Street project update, Courtney.
Things have been going good. They're up past Lewis Street as of today. Only issue so far is that pocket of contaminated soil they hit. And I have not heard back yet from DEC on what's going to happen with that. Testing was done. And they were given the green light to go dig through it, keep going. So
What's the latest on the lead water encrypts?
they've come across, so far every water line, other than one they've come across, has been copper. So we're hoping they're not lead. I'm gonna have to back down to the actual connection to confirm that they were changed out when the copper was put in. But it was so long ago, longer than I've worked with the town, so I don't know how they changed them back then. Nowadays, we have an adapter, we take it right off and go to the copper, but those still could have lead connections at the main, so we're gonna have to, once they get up the road out of the way, I don't want to be in their way, we're gonna back down and confirm them.
That's great.
But there was only one galvanized line that no, it was the 2-inch going to Field Apple Blossom, and we're gonna dig down and disconnect that because there's another second line that goes into that building that's being used. We've already changed that one over to plastic.
That's good, that's good. Good news. Getting that all out of the way, good job, Bernie.
All right, we're down to first result. Anybody have anything, Bob? You got it? Go ahead.
Yep.
You're up.
Yeah, so I'd like to talk to the board about the 5 School Street property owned by Mr. Bradley. So again, we're getting conversations from neighbors in the area explaining their situation and what's going on. So, and we're all aware of that property and it needs to be addressed. So I've taken the steps, I've contacted Kim Davis, the county treasurer, to discuss taking the steps if Mr. Bradley doesn't comply with the condemnation order, the demolition order, that the town will go out to bid and then do the work. and then it'll be thrown against the taxes. And so I followed the procedure that they, that needs to be followed. And so I just let the board know that's where we're headed. Mr. Bradley has been less than cooperative over the years. I think Mr. Favreau will attest to that. We've had him in court, but he has not shown up in court on previous orders, and we just have to take these steps. And I talked to the board briefly about, at least my liaisons, about earmarking some of the money from this public environmental benefit from these solar farms to help offset the costs if we have to get to that point, to offset the cost of tearing the building down and removing it, demoing the building. And then again, we'll be thrown on the taxes. But that's really all I had. But it's time. It's just, you know,
You only got one tandem load there.
it's dragged on way too long, and it has to be addressed.
Yeah, it's way.
It's certainly an eyesore, and it's an attractive nuisance. I mean, it's got to be taken care of.
Good job. You're
It's
doing
an
the right thing.
eyesore for.
Yeah, for a long time. Yeah.
Yeah, we give them plenty of chances.
Yeah,
You're doing
yeah.
the right steps. Thank you.
Okay.
I agree with Bob's assessment. We've had this in report a couple times, and then we promises every time. It's getting worse by the day over there, so.
Yep. Especially when school starts,
Yep, absolutely.
more people notice it.
Yep.
Okay, thank you, Bob. Good job. Everybody involved.
Anything else, Bob?
And,
No, that's it. Thanks, guys.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sasha?
No,
No, but you have anything? I mean,
No.
Educate you, how are things going?
They're going about, get a couple calls every couple days. Not too bad. I think I can handle it.
any cats?
No.
Leave them alone.
If things get too tight, we can probably buy you a different color socks and wait till Christmas.
All right.
Really?
Actually, he wants those glasses.
Maybe Under Armour.
White dress? Good thing.
You got red socks, you got a pink shirt, you guys hang out together?
Mike, you're up.
Yep, last Tuesday, night at 6:30, I met with Joey Rice, George Coon, and Todd Duquette, which all three live in a low spot below 14 in Locust. So every time it rains, they get flooded. So they really, with George Coon, just had a driveway done. Joey Rice has been, he's been flooded several times. It's just a bad. There's no drainage there. It kind of just went to an old culvert for it because there's not really any real runoff water other than storms. But it all goes there. It went through a culvert. George had a driveway done, so Forward did it. They talked to me. They said we don't need 4-inch, but just leave a swale in it. So they paved the driveway. For whatever reason, they never put the swale back, and then they had extra topsoil when they were doing along the driveway. They filled Joey's ditch, which had so now they're really, so they're gonna come back, they're gonna fix that, so, but it's not a permanent fix, because the water goes onto George's property, and it goes everywhere. Now it's flooding, especially with these storms that we're getting. So, they want me to do something like, and I explained to them, I can't spend town money on something I don't have an easement on. If somebody is willing to sign an easement, I don't know the procedure, that's, I said, think of that, and we may need just a partial one for George Coon, depending about what we were looking at. It would just be, real easy to do, to give us an easement, and I'd ask for a 30-foot, construction easement. We could, once it's done, go back to 20 if need be, but there's 2 pine trees, and they're nice thick pole. The pine trees are over the wires, we'd have to get grabbers to take 2 trees down, and they don't care, the guy's willing to do an easement. And then it would be just a natural swale, and that water will run down to zero out to the woods, and it won't hurt anybody, then it would solve the problem for all 3 homes. So I reached out to Matt because I don't know the procedure, getting an easement or what has to happen, but it'd be a cheap fix, and they're willing to work with us, so I just didn't know how it works.
So I got your email, I apologize for not getting back to
No,
you.
that's all right, I didn't want to talk to you about it, funeral.
No, I can't.
That wasn't the right way.
Basically, I can, if the homeowner's in agreement with it, it's gonna be similar to these as we got for Cody's project, we can, draw one up, I'll draw it up. I can look at it, you make sure it's what you want, and then when
Yeah.
somebody can take it to the homeowner, or maybe the next meeting, if I'm here, they wanna talk about it, but it should be fairly easy.
You know, we can shoot some grades and just see, we may have to, because where's the low spot, kind of right where two properties meet at George Coombs driveway, but
Yeah.
they're showing the property line of pole, which is out probably 100 feet, but everything's at an angle. So I don't know if it comes an angle that thing, or if somebody's even got a pin, I'm hoping somebody's got a pin that we could go off.
Okay.
I know the little bit of ditch work you did on Ratcliffe Drive was awesome. The people are super happy. They no longer have a big pond in their driveway or going up to their house. So excellent job. Got me a couple of votes there. Of course, I took credit for it. I made the phone call.
The only other thing we were shooting around, because we're not doing salt sand, we're gonna have straight salt and that fire rock. My suggestion is we put some kind of gate system on that salt set. If not, they start taking that out of there with bucket loads or even pickup loads at a time. You know, the salt's 86, 59 a ton.
The salt shed at the highway?
Yeah.
We have camera up there?
I had one at an angle that goes there, but there's nothing to stop them. Because they come in the middle of the night. And, that fire rock is $104 a ton, so it's not gonna take long to hurt your bottom line.
Yeah, no.
What's your suggestion to keep them out?
We don't want anybody.
Well, I was
stepping
thinking
to
maybe
the
those, the quarry sells those blocks,
Mhm.
we stack them, and then put like 2 16-foot gates or something like that. We just gotta be out of back of, one of those, tractor trailers, and they don't have to get out the sides, back right in,
Tractor farm sells some
Move
big
around.
gates.
you know, so, something like that, or maybe we don't even need the blocks, I don't know.
Whatever it takes to,
But, you know, it's like 72-foot wide, so, you know, we've gotta have something.
Huh.
But it
I'm
won't
all
take
right
long
with that,
for
you
it
guys.
to take thousands of dollars worth of salt.
Do we have any boulders we can use instead of buying something?
No, you all right with that?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, we don't want anybody stealing our property,
No,
but
exactly.
if they do, we want to prosecute.
Yeah, we'll come up with something.
Chain link fence off the tennis court.
Well, we thought of it, you know, something like that, even something like that.
There you go.
It's concrete would have to be drilled through it.
Try taking that down and reusing
I'm gonna get you on Saturday
it.
night.
There's gonna be some big old chunks of concrete on it.
All right.
Good to go. All right, thank you, Mike.
I'm good.
Courtney,
I'm good.
you're good?
Twice?
Holy moly. Ms. Barber?
Had major issues with my computer today. I was unable to use it for most of the day, but Chad was working on it. We don't know if it's an issue with the Outlook or what it is, but he set me up a virtual computer on the server. So if something does go south with mine, I'll still be able to log into the server to use that.
Is virtual when it shows up in the air, you can just go stuff like this and move it around?
That's virtual gaming.
That'd be awesome.
I can pretend though, if that makes you happy.
You're getting high tech in there.
Started with all the budgets, and hopefully we'll be ready. Yeah, Mike's already almost done his, so,
Good job.
Thank you.
huh?
It is done.
Okay, it is done.
And I talked to Pam too, and you guys give me your input about her computer. Maybe we should think about getting her a new computer. Hers has been around for a while, and it's pretty well, it's heavily used, so.
It's budget season, now's the time to
Yours
put
a
it
lot
in.
bigger than what we got here. They're just,
The same thing.
they're like a DVD, they're so small now, it's, when Chad brought my new one in, I just couldn't believe it. I was like,
No, but I mean, would you need
something
Nope.
bigger than his, than what we just got him?
I have.
Or it would work?
All of the all the computers nowadays, the components are all being made smaller.
Okay.
Like Apple has
Budget
a really
thing,
small
put it
one
in
like
there.
this too, the same size as
No,
his.
I don't mean bigger statue-wise, I mean more memory or more function, or is it the same thing?
Well, I work harder than he does.
Well,
so.
yeah.
All right.
That goes without saying.
Dan, not everybody believes that. Rich out there.
I don't know.
But I think that, like Craig said, it's, coming by the time we should look at that.
Absolutely.
It was a pretty rough day today between.
I know, when I called Pam and it was like, Pam, take a deep breath. Thank you.
My equipment doesn't work, I go home.
I was close. I was that close.
It doesn't either, I have to get it on my personal. All right, and Mrs. Marino, she came in just in time. You have anything? Thank you for coming. I know you had how did practice go? How did things go? Or your games?
First games today for mites. 10 teams, 5 fields. The only real big issue was parking. And it was just a matter of letting parents know, please park a little closer together. You don't need 10 feet in between each car. So we can fiddle a few more people in, that kind of thing. But other than that, everybody's extremely happy. I took a bunch of pictures. They'll go up on the Facebook page. Introduced myself to a lot of people. Had some older grandparents who were in farther away fields. I helped walk them over. I had some other kids who were there who wanted to help also, so they did that kind of thing. Jerseys all got handed out. Every single team picked up their jerseys on the mite and pee-wee level. They all got whistles. They're the automatic ones, so there's no contamination, there's no blowing into anything, so everything seems to be on track and fantastic. So,
You got a couple more porta potties in there closer.
yeah, they're in perfect positions for the different levels of fields, especially since we've added another mini mite field around the corner, so that's our premier field. Our number 4 field where, it's right next to a porta potty. Those people are going to be like begging for field 4. So they're excited. Seems
What, we had talked about a food truck, is that still an option?
it's still an option, but I think it's been put on the back burner just because we wanted to assess how many people are coming. And the people that came in who I just simply said, could we please keep this clear for an emergency vehicle to get through? Oh, no problem. They had no problem with that whatsoever. I said, we just don't know if somebody has an emergency, whose child it's going to be. Could be mine, could be yours. I'd hate to see something. So if we could just keep this clear, they were fine. So if we can figure out parking and just make sure that's okay, we'll probably start seeing it at some
Do
point.
you need any cones up there?
I think there's cones in the barn.
Okay.
So I think it's just a matter of parents getting used to it again, which is why we divvied up the nights. I mean, we used to have an overlap. We used to have kiwis and mini mites on the same day. But judging by our numbers, we said, let's nix that completely. Everybody has their own specific days.
Yeah, I got to drive by about 5:45 and the fields were totally covered with kids and it looked awesome.
It's
Excellent.
fantastic. I
Yeah.
can't wait.
I had a big smile on my face.
I do too.
They pulled it off.
So, and I did talk to Finney's. Finney's was absolutely fantastic. This is the quickest they've ever gotten shirts out for anybody, and they're excited to do it for us. So, and I did talk to them about the moving up game. They sponsor it completely. They said, last year they did one team, Lorman's did the other, and Mr. Finney came right out and said, look, if Lorman's doesn't want to do it, we'll take it on ourselves and do the whole thing, because it means that much to them.
Excellent job.
Thank you.
And I know you
A
had.
lot of effort to your whole crew too, okay?
Oh.
Make sure they know we're
I
really
do,
super
and
thrilled.
I've got to say thank you to Courtney and Chris for getting the fields. I mean, everything is amazing up there, and everybody knows it.
Chris didn't have a good day today.
Oh,
He was covered today.
no. He was covered in paint. Well, I did see a little wetness in there, and I saw a couple of spots, so
He had a lot of problems with the painter.
I'll have to send him a thank you.
Kristen, thank you.
Thank you very
You're
much.
doing a good job at them.
And you can go home and have dinner, man.
Oh, you
You
can,
sure?
if you want, yeah, if you want, leave it on.
Okay.
Yeah, because I know you started.
I made my kids walk home from practice.
Yeah.
Really, Mom? 2 blocks away, you're fine.
Question.
Oh, wait a minute, Jed, I get
The shirts that came in,
that box, will you bring them, you know?
Yes, yes.
Thank you.
Yep, in fact, I'll come back and drop it back off later, or I'll drop it off tomorrow on my way through when I pick up the
They
Don't
emails.
make us
they
wait.
were for your rec assistants, right?
That's what I was told, was
Okay.
they were for rec assistants.
And let's go through and we'll check them off and you can hand them out.
Okay,
Or we can hand them out, but you can.
that
hand them
works
out.
for me.
You can
There's
hand them out.
additional shirts in the barn, that kind of stuff. There's water bottles that have been sitting there in plastic. There's not enough to give to all of the kids. So if I could kind of, if anybody has ideas or something, so that we could utilize them even in the community somehow, I'd like to see them get used as opposed to just sitting there creating dust. I mean, it's a great advertisement for us, so,
What about using?
Apple Fest parade.
I was gonna say, came out of the parade.
perfect.
Because your kids are gonna be in the
Yep.
parade and all that. Great idea.
Yep, the write-up for the parade's all been completed, you know. Everybody's excited, so.
Great, thank you.
Super.
We are too.
We are too. Thank you so much.
Thanks. If you need anything, please email me, call me, you know.
But don't make us fetch you to a trip back tonight. You can drop that off
Okay.
in that box. That's fine with me. You guys all right with that?
Sure.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Excellent.
There. That's good. We are. What else you got, John? Do you have anything on?
Nope.
Under other business, the only one thing that I think I have, Diane isn't here tonight, but she had all the town clerks from, how many, Pam?
Clinton, Essex, and Franklin County. I believe there was 25 who attended. They were extremely impressed with the town hall, how it was all set up. Of course, Diane went crazy with the food as usual, and, you know, people were excited, and they had Gary Martinez, who's from the Department of Health, for the vital statistics, right, Judy? And he was very informative. Everybody had a lot of questions, and they had a lot of handouts and everything, but everybody was very impressed with the town hall. They were taking pictures, and gee, this is how we should have our town hall, and, you know, somebody saw the camera system in there, and so this one lady was by herself most of the day, so I said, you know, if you're by yourself in a town hall all day long by yourself, then you should have cameras, you know, or whatever fail-safe there is to keep her safe, but, yeah, they were very impressed, and so loved all the little parting gifts and
I just, you know, from
food and
myself,
stuff that went home with them, and
and I'm sure to the rest, thank you, Diane. I mean, she did do a good job. It was really decorated, and, you know.
Yeah.
And Ron did some cooking, so, but thank you too.
Fire department got involved, but it was all good.
We have to bring that up, Ray. There's no
yeah,
secrets.
that was a little crazy, but, you know, the fire alarm's going off. I can't find the key to shut the panel off, and just so happens Greg Timmons shows up to pay his insurance bill, and yeah, I'm at the town hall. It's just a false alarm.
Yeah.
Nice.
But, so we know the fire alarm system works.
That's right. Tell them it was just a practice, right?
Yeah.
All right.
So that was the big snafu, and the rest of the day went perfect.
Very
So.
Good, everything well.
And she did work her butt off, her and Ron, with the food and everything.
Good, thank you. No public comments, John. We asked you to pay the bills, a resolution and discussion to pay the bill.
Make the motion.
Bruno.
Second.
Whereas the town board has reviewed and audited the following claims, bills, and invoices for services rendered and goods provided to the town in September 2022. The town approved vouchers in September 2022, number 2022-001100, through and including number 2022-01188, abstract dated September 9, 2022, for the dollar amount totaling $203,968.53. Of that, $41,854.11 was wired. Credit cards and prepaid, $162,114.42 is remains to be paid. Whereas the town board finds that those claims and invoices to be acceptable form and reasonable amount, now therefore be resolved. The payment of the aforementioned claims, bills, and invoices is approved, and the supervisor committee hereby is authorized to make such payment. And be further resolved that this resolution shall take effect immediately.
Roll call.
Mr. Barber?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Douglas?
Yes.
Mr. Irvin?
Yes.
Okay,
Motion carried.
motion carried. Number 22, Rick, would you still like to?
Yes, we do.
Okay, we're gonna have there'll be no decisions, we're gonna have an executive session, who's gonna make the motion?
I'll make the motion.
Mr. Barber, Mr. Bruno.
Well, what's the subject of the executive session?
It's concerning property that we're looking at.
Okay,
And possible personnel issues.
okay.